What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday. Let's see, it's September 1st, Labor Day weekend. I am here at the shop and it is starting to rain, but the temperature has dropped down quite a bit, and I've been trying to get this skate bike thing done, and the only way it's going to get done is if we actually just do it. So I'm going to actually just kind of throw one together and see how it does. I've got an ambitious plan to make a really cool one, but the problem is time. So we're going to make a cheaper version just to see if it'll work, and hopefully the rain will kind of pass, because it is starting to rain. But if y'all don't know what a skate bike is, wow, here comes the rain. Let me show you. So right here is what we call a skate bike. Actually, that's what they called it right there. This is a Mensen skate bike, if you can't see that right there. So this has a 16-inch wheel with skateboard front wheels. It's got the 3-piece cranks. It's one that we did in a previous video. We've got the brake just right there below the seat. So the plan is to build a larger one, so I figured we'd go with a 20-inch BMX bike, and I figured cut the front part of the frame off and kind of weld some pieces here to this front part here where the wheels are, the skate wheels are attached. So with that being said, let's see if we can find a victim. I do love the smell of fresh rain. It is pouring. Well, it's not pouring. It's raining pretty good. So let's go over here next door. Try to keep the camera from getting wet. We were actually in the warehouse here just the other day, and I was figuring I've got this Miraco here, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry about the lighting. I really do need to get some more lights in here, but I've got several BMX bikes, and there's a cheap Royce Union over there. That would be pretty good, but I've already got plans. We've got this Miraco here. Now this Miraco, I wish I had better lighting here. So this Miraco is a lower end one. This one is the Miraco Signature. So it's a high tensile steel frame. It does have 3-piece cranks. And the nice thing is, it's rideable right now. So what we can do is we can chop the bike just right here and at the bottom bracket down here, and then we can weld the front part on there. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get this frame out, and what else do I need? I've got my welder. I'm going to have to figure out something for the brake. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this taken out into some better lighting and see what we need to do next. Alright, so what we've got here is we've got our Miraco Signature bike. Again, it's not a high-end bike, and I actually met Dave Mira once or twice, and I really don't think he'd mind what I'm doing here. In fact, I think he would approve a little bit, but man, now if this was a higher end Miraco, there's no way I could do that, to do this to this bike. But again, this is the lower end Miraco, and also this bike is actually in worse shape than it looks. So I'm not doing anything sacrilegious, really. But let's go ahead and get this taken care of, let's get our cutter here and let's cut this cable. We just need to cut these cords because we're going to be using this later on. So we're going to save these. So I've got my eye protection. Let me get my Sawzall. Alrighty. There's no turning back now. Okay, so you can kind of see where we're actually going here. I'm going to actually now weld a couple of pieces on the front here with a flat plate so that we can actually have the skateboard wheels on there. My only concern is, if you'll notice, this seat tube here is further back from the cranks here, and if you'll notice on here, the cranks are actually kind of a little bit more underneath the seat versus being further back. So I may put a layback seat post on there to compensate for the difference. The plan is to clean this up. I may clean this up a little bit before we actually weld the front part, but again, I'm trying not to spend too much time on this. We just want to see if this is possible. As luck would have it, I picked up this longboard from the flea market. I paid $10 for it. It's not a very nice one. It's just probably one of those Walmart longboards, but it does have some nice metal trucks on it and some decent looking wheels. So for a playing around project, it's going to be pretty good. We just need to measure this right here, and we need to find a piece of metal that will work with it. So let's see. So we need something that's about 2.5 by, let's see. Oh, about 3.5. Let's see what I've got. Luckily for me, I found a nice piece of steel right here. It's a decent thickness. Let's go ahead and get this marked and cut. I've got some pretty cool neighbors that let me use their vise. I've got my own vise, but I like it better out here. going to line this up as best as we can. And we're going to mark the holes. So I actually want to kind of see how this is going to look. It's still kind of hot. So the holes are a little off. Let's try turning it around. Okay. That's why I was wanting to make the holes a little bigger so that they can actually, if the measurement's off, it'll still fit. We might have to open up the holes a little bit more. And remember, this is just because we're just seeing if it can be done. All right, that's going to work. I'm going to say that we're going to MIG weld this since we're short on time. I need to grab my welder here, turn on my gas. I'm getting a little low on gas. Let's plug the machine up. Yes. Always clip the wire there so you got a nice clean piece. And then we're going to find a nice ground. Let's go. Man, where's it go? We'll go here. And then we're going to kind of move this around a bit until we're happy with it, which I'm going to tack weld it on the back side here to keep it up. Okay, so now we can actually let this sit under its own, and then we can see how crooked it is. And I can see that it is pretty crooked. So we need to tweak it a little bit there. Okay, this is straight. This is not. So I'm going to go ahead and tack this in several other places, and then we're going to work on this. That's looking not too bad. Then we're going to tack weld it on the other side, and then we're going to weld it. All right, let's go ahead and weld.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed.
Alright, so I've run into a couple of snags. In my haste to get this project going, I misjudged where the tubing here was supposed to be. It actually should be about 2.5 to 3 inches lower than where it's at right now. Since I welded this in the wrong place, it's causing a couple of issues. For one thing, the seat is lower. The cranks are much closer to the ground. This needs more of an alignment to it, so it wants to turn a little bit to the right, but that's easy to fix. Just a little bit of a blowtorch, kind of give it a bit of an alignment, and that would be fine. However, I need to cut this tubing off, and I need to lower it much further down so that I can get this right. I may have to shorten the cranks. I can put new cranks on there that are shorter, but we'll see. I may just shorten the cranks just because I can. I still have to hook up the brakes. Also, I noticed how significantly lower this is. Even though the wheel is larger, the frame is larger, the seat clamp right here is much lower than this one right here. So I need to find another frame so that I can add to this to get this taller, because the whole project of this was to make this bigger, and whenever you put it right here, it's really not that much. Who am I kidding? It's longer because the bigger wheel, but the seat's lower, it feels more cramped, and I'm not going to call this a failure. it's learning. Okay, this is a learning situation. Uh, However, I'm going to keep going with this frame because once I get it right, I can use this as a model where I can make a jig using the measurements of this so that I can make others quicker, faster, and better than this one right here. So I'm glad I didn't use the nicer frame. It was actually good to use this cheaper frame here because I'm gonna have to cut on this. It's not pretty, but you know what? We're making progress because actually this does work. It's just with the frame so low, the crank so low, the pedals are actually making contact with the concrete here. But we're getting there. So please tell me what you think. Am I nuts? Is this a cool project? And hey, if you have any suggestions, I'm glad to actually read those suggestions. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to tell your friends. Check out some of the other videos on the corner of the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.